Let's do this shit. All right. Yo, what's up? And it's another Black Lotus Podcast. And I'm here with my brothers. Probably should say my name first. It's your host, Mike Blue.
And my name is Josiah Jacobs, and we are here with our brother Claude.
Yo.
He is our editor of the podcast. He has been putting in that work for us. A good reason why these episodes be dropping is because of him. We cannot do this without him. He be making our timestamps, making the sound bites, be putting in that work for us, bro. This shit would not be possible without the boy Claude. So, what's up, bro?
What's good with y'all? I was just thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about how long, I've been editing for y'all. I think, when did I start? I started in, April, May, sometime?
Yeah.
Last
Damn,
year?
it has been that long.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's been about a year.
Damn, that's crazy.
I know, that's what I was saying.
Oh, my God. How did it start, though? You just hit Michael up, or?
I think, did I hit you up or did
No, I think you had hit, you put on your Instagram, you were, doing more work on the podcast, and I hit you up, and I was like, you ever need help editing for, YouTube or, all that stuff, just let me know. And then that's when you hit me up later, 2 weeks later or something. And that's when we started doing it.
That's crazy, because our previous editor, we love him to death. Talk to him every day. But he just didn't have the time to really do what we wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel it.
Your help is much appreciated, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Me, I got a vision, bro. I got a vision that I really want to take this podcast with, and just I have a certain image that I wanted to have, and having you as our editor has really allowed that image to grow and develop into what I want it to be and what it's going to continue to be.
This podcast is going to do great things.
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
It's going to become a legacy. I'm already knowing.
For sure. I actually wanted to, we talked about this before the podcast, but since we talk about the podcast, out of all the episodes that you've edited, or the ones, which one has been your favorite?
There have been a lot. I really liked Mind of Lotus, definitely. Top tier. Definitely Organic Spirituality. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I think both of them were good, so I'm going to say that's my top 3 right there.
Organic Spirituality.
Wait, was that?
We recorded that damn near a year ago, bro.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones that I edited of you guys.
Now I think about it, that one, that was the first one, right? That was the first spirituality one? Or is that the second one?
I can't remember, because there's organic and then there's natural.
Organic was, healthy. Natural is the series.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
Healthy was the one that we both did, but you were the emphasis on that one. I think I was the emphasis on organic.
Yeah.
I was talking about spirituality and how to get into spirituality. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. That one was a good one. I remember I was spitting bars on that. Oh wow.
Yeah, no, you was going crazy, bro. You was going stupid on that. And then we had you said Mind of the Lotus too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, brother, that was a good one. Shout out to my brother Jordan.
That stuff was crazy.
It was.
Because we did 3. Jordan was in 3. There was Mind of the Lotus. There was the one that he joined with the Journey.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was Men in Motivation.
That was a good one too.
Men in Motivation. That's one of my favorites, bro. I think that's our most listened to episode.
Really?
Yeah. Men in Motivation.
Yeah, I like the My personal favorites, I'd probably say, for the OG listeners, True Nature of the Threat. That one.
Oh, brother, people don't know about that one. People don't, bro. I highly advise anybody who listens to this right now to, after you listen to this podcast, go listen to that one.
That's deep in there, isn't it?
If you're trying to be put on game, that one had major game.
Yeah, that was a good one. I'm gonna have to go with also Claude with organic spirituality. I like that one. I like that one a lot. And I think I'm going to have to give it. I'm gonna have to give it. It's either Real and Raw, because I really like that one. We talked about some really good stuff in there, like school and stuff. Either that one or the Dream Art one. The Dream Art one that you remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
That one was a good one. We were talking about like a whole bunch of red pill, bro. Like I just really like that one.
I'm still mad I wasn't there for that episode, bro. I'm mad that you did that episode without me. I'm so mad you did that shit without me. I'm so mad. Cause I would have went stupid on that podcast, bro. I would have went crazy.
That podcast was actually legendary.
I'm hella mad, bro.
Shout out to the Dream Art Production family.
Hey Claude, in your opinion, what do you think makes one of our podcasts like good to you? Like, what do you think makes it memorable?
Honestly, the fact that it's real. Like, you can definitely listen to different people and they give their opinions and they don't give the same like passion and energy into it. Like they'll try to say things specifically to get like internet famous and stuff like that, but like everything's like authentic, and that's why like I enjoy like I'm working technically when I'm editing for you guys, but like I actually like enjoy listening to the podcast while I'm editing. So like I'll listen to it like 2-3 times just to really like sort of get an idea of what's happening.
Wow.
I know.
See that, bro. That's why we need an editor like you, like somebody who would listen to our stuff and actually enjoy it. You know, somebody who actually. Because I've always wondered to myself, I wonder if Claude, if he actually likes our podcast. You know.
Yeah, because I mean, it'd be different if like I've done like work for other people and not like necessarily enjoyed it. But, like, it's a difference when you, like, actually, like, think about everything that's being said. Like, I think, like, I've texted you guys a couple times and been like, yo, this has got a lot of good sound bites, or, like, yeah, this is it right here.
You did that for Mind of the Lotus.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
that was a great episode.
Yeah, that was crazy, bro. That's real, bro. I think a problem today is, you got too many people trying to clickbait, and trying to just make a headline. You know, honestly, some of me and Michael's opinions are like would make headlines, but we not doing it for the headline. Yeah. This is what we actually believe. We have come to these realizations through trial and error. You know, we've tested our beliefs and the things that we like we used to believe a lot of the, I'll say, generic stuff that people believe today.
Facts.
But we had to as I think when I went back to St. Mary's like a few weeks ago, because I was in the area, I talked to Mr. Suffin, and he said I pressure tested my beliefs. Like I had to lie. I had to put him under pressure to make sure what I actually believed is valid. Not saying my opinion is the right opinion. I do think, honestly, it's the right opinion because I'm going to believe it. Because
your opinion.
But as I grow, I might believe different things. I still keep an open mind. I'm always willing to be able to talk to somebody about what I believe. I'm not a closed-minded individual. That's a lot of problems what we have today. People be so closed-minded and don't be wanting to hear nobody else talk.
That's facts.
Because I mean, like, a major part of just growing as an individual is keeping your open mind and at the same time acknowledging the fact that you might not always be right. You know, like, I'm not going to say, like, you should compromise your core beliefs. Like, I'm still going to be a Christian at the end of the day. But, I mean, I'm open-minded to hear what other people believe in, whether it's a political ideology, cultural ideology, or just plainly just a spiritual ideology, I'm still willing to hear you, hear you out. I'm definitely going to be definitely going to confront that and conflict it, just to see how, it's natural just to see how strong a person's belief is. Either you're going to, either you guys are going to come to an agreement, or, you're going to agree to disagree. And that's perfectly healthy, in my opinion.
For sure. I think a lot of time people put too much of their emotion into what they believe.
Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many times that's happened.
Yeah. People put too much of their emotions into what they believe in. You can't actually debate and talk to somebody about a particular issue if your emotions are wrapped up all into it. I will admit there are some issues that I can get emotional about, but I just try to keep my composure. And usually when that happens, I'll be like, and I really try to like listen in. I'm like, okay, like I'm being challenged right now. Let me see what they're talking about. Sometimes I might have a debate with people and they get really emotional. They don't want to hear what I have to say. It's not. It doesn't really happen that much because I really don't get into debates with individuals. But when I do, it's just I don't do the yelling, bro. I can't. In sports, I'll do the yelling.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, we finna see that on Sunday. Show.
Hell yeah.
We finna see that on Sunday.
No, my Raiders
finna beat the Cowboys' ass.
my
See, we
Raiders
about
finna go
to
all
take
the way.
y'all. We about to take y'all.
Oh, Clyde. Oh,
My
bro,
Raiders
I forgot
finna go
you
to
was
Raiders all the way. We finna go all the way. Don't
I'm
even
not
talk to
gonna
me.
lie. Y'all gotta play Joe Burr.
I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about
Y'all
him.
gotta play Joe Burr.
I'm not worried about Joe Burrow.
Bro, I don't know, man. I don't think who finna stop y'all. Who's y'all corners, bro?
We got Casey Hayward on probably Jamar Chase, I'm assuming.
Is Casey Hayward still good?
Yeah. He's locked down this year.
Okay.
We got Nate Hobbs guarding probably T. Higgins, I'm assuming. Actually, that might be a tough matchup. And then we got, right now, Brandon Faison. He's on the other side because Trayvon Mullen's out. So we're out of corner. So that might be tough, but we still gonna hold it down. We gonna still hold it down.
Hey, bro, I respect y'all for making the playoffs though. Cause
with everything that went on this year, I was surprised that we actually did it.
Yeah, bro, I'm surprised too. Like that shit's actually crazy that y'all actually pulled it out and made the playoffs. But I'm surprised. I'm not so. I thought the Niners was gonna be better this season, but
no, y'all. I knew y'all was pretty ass. Y'all niggas are always.
What?
I knew you niggas was pretty ass. Y'all niggas are always ass.
Bro, we was just in the Super Bowl, bro. What are you talking about?
You hear the Raiders might sign Harbaugh?
What?
If y'all did that, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
What?
That would be crazy.
I wouldn't be mad at
I
it.
might root for the I might root for the Raiders a little more if they all sign Harbaugh because I mess with Jim.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of good childhood memories when he comes to Niners.
Oh yeah, those were good years for y'all.
That would be crazy, bro.
Kaepernick era.
And we got Michael over here, the fake Dallas Cowboys fan.
Oh,
hey,
ew.
Man. America's team, man. America.
Bro, I don't even want to expose you on this podcast right now, bro. I really could just ask you some players and you won't know none of them, bro. I could literally do that right now. I'm not.
Hey. I know offense, and that's what we're gonna keep it as. I don't want to talk about defense.
Bruh, nah, bro.
Offensive players, we're gonna keep it like that.
Hell nah. Hey,
but nah. Claude, let me ask you this question for a minute. When it comes down to like, because I know that you're like a real big church guy, and everybody knows I go to church as well. True Vine Ministries, 896, Isabella or Newton Carey Way. How was it like growing up in the church? Like, like I know for me, like I didn't really like going to church at first.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
we about to get real right now.
like I didn't like going.
We about to get real. Yeah, I like to hear this.
Like I didn't really like to go to church at first, and my faith didn't develop until later on after I became like a teen, then or like around like 16, 17, because I didn't really, I didn't find the value in church besides, just being a part of the sound ministry. But after I went to a sleepaway camp, like my sophomore year of high school, shout out my Remnant family, everything, my whole faith just grew like exponentially. Like, it started off with a mustard seed, as they said in the Bible. But I don't know, like how did yours start? Like, when did you really start like believing in God? Like believing in spirituality?
Yeah.
And in religion.
It's funny because somebody just asked me this question like 2 weeks ago, and it's like for those of you who don't know me, like I've pretty much been in church my entire life. So like since, I could barely walk, I was in church, and I was that kid that like everybody in the church knew, like, dressed up in suits and everything, and, on stage whenever you could. Like, I was that kid. But it wasn't until like I moved away and went to Hampton that I really started like having to have my own like faith journey. So like for so long I was like, going to church because that was just a thing that we did on Sundays, and I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. Like I loved going to church, but it wasn't like my decision per se. So like once I had to leave and like do it on my own, and I was in my own sort of like space in Virginia, like that's when it's like, like you have to get up and go to church, but not because you're like, obligated to, or because you've always done it, but because you actually want to do it. And so like once quarantine hit, I was just like, I wasn't like mad per se, but I was just like dealing with it, because I was like, life was going good. Like I was playing golf for school, and I was under scholarship. I was, doing all these like great things. I was in Florida. I was traveling all over the East Coast, and then all of a sudden that's just like gone. Like Hampton took away all that, and it was like, how could not how could God do this, but like, how does this like happen? Like, and 18 months later, we were still in that situation. Over time, I kind of, developed a more positive outlook on it. But for a while, I was just like, how can you let this happen to like this many people? So yeah, it wasn't until like about a year and a half, 2 years ago almost now, that I really started like doing it for me instead of doing it because I had to,
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Cause like, I went through like, I don't know if I have we released the Labyrinth episode, Joey?
Which one?
Like the initial one when I was like really like telling everybody like about, I don't know if that's still on my spam account or not though.
Oh, you talking about the ones that we did on your spam?
Yeah.
I don't really think we
I don't think we uploaded that one. But hey, I'll just give you guys a quick rundown. So basically, back when I was like, I was about to start actually it was probably like I think it was like March of 2019. I was, I felt like I was struggling in life, and so I just wanted to take a break from everything. So I just turned off my phone, or not even turned off my phone, but I turned off all social media, and I was just gone for like 2 or 3 months, and didn't talk to anybody besides Joey and a couple other friends. And I would just meditate every day, occasionally read, but it was more so just recentering myself with what I'm doing in life, my priorities, where they are, and who God was to me. Because you always hear like God is this to everybody, but you never really discuss who He is to you. Mm-hmm. That's that connection that you have to Him. Because at the end of the day, I had to realize that I only die by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, this means no disrespect to anybody I care about, but none of you guys are gonna die with me. I'm here on this earth by myself to live my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm only living for two reasons: for myself and for God. So, I need to figure out what the second reason was.
Yeah.
You know, who I was actually living for. And so, I took a break from everybody, you know, tried to see who I was as an individual. And I had to come to peace with a couple terms that, like, one, that, you know, everybody's not going to be who you expect them to be, and, you know, and number two, there's only one person who got your back, and that's yourself. And with that comes, you know, who's there to support you at the end of the day besides yourself. And that's where I found out where my priorities are: God, and you know, family and friends. You know, some are here today and gone tomorrow, but you know, while they're here, we were just having this conversation, huh, Joe? You know, some are here and some are gone. Some here today, and for nostalgic purposes, you should always remember those memories. But they are here to come. They are here to leave one day, and but that's beside the point. All this being said, when I was doing, you know, my soul searching and trying to find out where I was spiritually, I found that, you know, God is omnipotent. Not omnipotent. Omnipotent. Damn, I'm not gonna be able to say that right. I'm not gonna lie. Omnipotent and
Omniscient. Omnipresent.
Omnipresent. So he knows everything, and he's everywhere at the same time. That being said, I had to realize that I wasn't going to be able to be perfect. When I say perfect, I know nobody's perfect, but literally, I can't be afraid to make mistakes. I actually have to live. I have to live through my mistakes, and through living through my mistakes and living through my imperfections, that's how I will find God. In my opinion, I'm not saying that, you know, you should just strive to just be a sinner. I mean, I don't really like to use the word sinner anymore because, you know, that's really judgy, and I can't judge people. I'm really ranting, but I just wanted to say that, like, that period of time really helped me, and that's how I found God. But yeah,
Wait, so like, it seems like you guys both found God through, like, in times of being alone.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, when you, like, grow up in church pretty much your whole life, or even when you're, like, introduced to church a lot, everyone always, like, has the same sort of, like, sayings per se. Like, whenever you hear, like, God is good, you think all the time.
Yeah.
And all the time God is good, but you don't ever really think about, like, what does that mean? Like,
yeah,
and
you
it
just
isn't
think it's a saying.
Yeah, and it's like, it isn't until that you, like, really have your own sort of, like, soul searching journey that you really start to figure out things that you, like, hear all the time. So, like, for example, a whole idea of, like, trying new things and accepting failure and understanding that, like, you know, nobody's perfect in this world, that allows you to, like, really, once you understand what that actually is and, like, how that actually impacts you, you live life completely differently. Like, you're not afraid to, you know, go outside and try something because you know that either way, you know, God loves you, and either way you're gonna, you know, be okay the next day and you're gonna be fine. So, like, why wouldn't you, you know, want to try something else? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, I completely feel that because, like, back to what Joey said, like, you know, I had to find God by myself. I take no accreditation away from my pastor, but I didn't feel the connection until I went off by myself and did it, and, you know, and made that connection myself, and then was able to feel, you know, I'm good. Feel where feel for myself where I needed to be.
Yeah.
I also,
I think.
oh, my fault.
No, no, no.
I was gonna say, I also say like, you know, a lot of like the things that were taught in church is not taught to the children. Correct? I know I always say this, but like I really do mean this. Like, I feel like the connection with God is always through other people, and I don't feel like that's the best way for children to learn how to connect to God.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like they should learn. You know, I don't feel like they should learn from their parents to have a relationship with God. I feel like it should be induced by the parents, but only because they put their children in certain situations, not just church. You can't. It's very rare that I've ever talked to a person and been like, "Oh yeah, I found a true connection with God from church."
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that like you catch the Holy Spirit or anything in church like that. Yeah, that happens. That happens all the time. But it's very rare that I find a person who's like, "Oh yeah, my first connection with God was at church." Like the pastor said something that made me realize that God is real, and now I have a connection with Him singularly. It's usually like either a life-changing moment that you go through by yourself, and then now God's there to help you through it, or you're humbled and you're put into a situation where you realize that there has to be something bigger than you.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. I think a lot of the time I never really went to church like that growing up, but I'm a Christian.
I'm just playing.
And I went to Catholic schools. I'm not Catholic though, but like one thing I realized is that faith is and coming from like including y'all perspectives, faith is a personal journey. But a lot of the time, like when you go to church, when not understanding why you're going, it becomes a group thing.
Mm-hmm.
When it's not really a group thing, it's about your personal connection to God, right? And like Michael, you were saying that like church isn't the only place where God is.
God is everywhere.
People, you said what?
I said God is everywhere.
Yeah, and like the thing is, I've seen a lot of people who go to church every Sunday, but as soon as they leave church, they don't have those same values.
Brother,
they don't have those same biblical values.
You don't want to start going down that lane. I'm not going to lie.
Ever since I've grown up, I've always noticed I never went to church. I barely went to church. The only time I went to church was at St. Leo's when we had like mass or something, right? Or St. Mary's had mass. I didn't go to church, but I acted more like how God would want me to be than people who was at church every Sunday.
Sheesh.
And another thing is like church. I think you find God. You can get the Holy Ghost when you're at church. You can feel that connection when you're with others. But I think you really find God through like personal endeavors. Like I've made faith-based connections in my life outside of the church. I've seen things happen. I'm like, wow, this happened because of God. Like sometimes you don't even realize that shit in the moment. You realize it maybe years after. Like my college decision, I could have went to one school, but I ended up going to Howard, and I'm happy I went to Howard because I was able to find my passions and really hone in and develop a deeper connection with those passions.
That's crazy.
And those are all type of connections that you make outside of church. I'm not saying nothing is wrong with church, obviously, but like for me personally, I've developed my own connection with God outside of the church, and I've made these connections, and I'm like, wow, I know God is real because of things that have happened to me in my life that cannot be explained. Like this cannot be explained logically. Like, why did this happen?
Yeah, and it's funny because I think like in church, a lot of people like a lot of church people, like they always talk about like sins and stuff like that, and like they try to like beat like negative thoughts into your like head, but then they want to like preach, like, you know, the good news and stuff like that. Like, you know, Jesus got up on the third day, you know, but no one ever wants to talk about, you know, him carrying the cross. Like, nobody ever wants to talk about, like, him being beaten. No one ever wants to talk about, like, him, you know, being in the wilderness for 40 days. And nobody wants to talk about the, like, hard aspects of what Jesus had to go through. But everyone wants to talk about how, you know, perfect and, you know, angelic Jesus was. But, you know, don't get me wrong, we all know that, you know, Jesus was a perfect human, but, like, in order to connect with me on a daily basis, like, I might be that person who's, you know, spending, you know, 40 nights in the wilderness completely lost right now, but you're, you know, preaching the aspect of, you know, everything's good, everything's great, everything works out, but what happens when, like, how do I go through the moments when it's not working out, when it's not doing good? And I think that's what, like, deters a lot of people from going to church, because, you know, it's not real. Like, it's almost like people are trying to dramatize and make it, like, bigger than it is. Like, you need to really explain each and every aspect in order for people to, like, really understand what happens. Like
I feel like a lot of times, like, not only do pastors, like, repeat the same things, the same vague things, I feel like they don't go in depth into, you know, certain chapters that really give you a real life picture of what it was like to live back then. Like, people don't like to talk about how they like to talk about the book of Job. Like, you won't see people talking about the book of Job unless you get into, like, the right circles. The book of Job might be one of the realest books in the Bible.
Facts.
God will put you through everything, and you will have there will literally be no logical. You can't make any logical explanation or rationality out of it, but there's a purpose for it. But you won't be able to see it, and sometimes you just have to accept the fact that you're not going to be able to understand it.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to go through this and keep trusting in him. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people, you know, when it comes to death and it comes to, you know, permanent tribulations or very tough trials, I feel like a lot of people tend to, I'm not going to say fold, because that just sounds kind of, that sounds vague. Their faith tends to waver in the wind, and I'm not gonna lie, you know, some people say, you know, family ain't for the weak. I'm gonna say faith ain't for the weak. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not for the weak, man. It's been days where you know you just question everything, but, you know, sometimes it's not even. Sometimes it is reading the Bible, but sometimes it's not even reading the Bible. It's just living and just feeling, you know, feeling and thinking, you know, and meditating upon, you know, events that have happened, which you could have done better, and, you know, what is right.
Facts. I'm not gonna lie, Claude, when you was talking about how they don't really talk about Jesus' struggles, like in the church today, it kind of made me think about I don't know if we've had this conversation on the podcast. I think we have. We definitely had it off camera. Me and Michael have talked about how, like, a lot of men, particularly black men, don't like going to the church.
Oh yeah, I like this turn. I like this turn.
Hell yeah.
I love this turn. I know exactly where you go with this.
Yeah, you know where I'm going, bro. Like, a lot of black men don't like going to the church anymore because they can't relate to the message that's being taught to by the pastor, right? Like, the message is it preaches Jesus as, like, a very feminine dude. You know, it's not like actual it's not showing how strong he was, you know?
Yeah.
It's not showing how strong he was.
I think about this
That's
a lot,
problem.
yeah, because I'm always thinking about, like, because I usually, like, watch messages over. I like to watch things over just to like, because I feel like I always miss something in the first part. Like, so I feel like I have to watch something over again. So whenever I listen to like a message over and over again, it's always funny to me how like not all pastors and preachers, but for a good portion, like a lot of the message is directed at like women, and like they like change the like they relate it to like women's issues today. So for example, like they'll say like something along the lines of like that man ain't like worth the trouble or something like that, and they won't like flip it around and talk about like how men have different issues like that and won't address the male issues, but they'll address like women's issues of like dealing with relationships and stuff like that. But like that's why like, honestly I don't think there's a lot of men in the church, because it's not relatable. Like
I also feel like I also feel like a lot of the times when we look at, you know, in the church, like for sure, we don't, as you said, Joey, we don't look at God, we don't look at Jesus as a masculine man. You know,
Facts.
we look at as a person who takes care of people, but we don't ever look at, you know, the revolutionary side of him. At least in my church, we look at him a little bit like that, but we don't ever read from the book of Luke that often. I say that often. Shout out to Pastor Natalia, but we don't read from him that often, and that irritates me because we're catering to, you know, of course there's more women in church, so I can understand why they would want to do that, but we don't cater to, you know, their children, like their sons, you know, and in this segue, I want to talk about how, you know, sometimes church boys are looked to be a whole lot more feminine than men out in the real world.
Yeah.
And like, it kind of irritates me because I was like that. I was that feminine, you know, little. I won't say feminine, but I mean like I had a lot more feminine tendencies than I did masculine tendencies, and I would say that the majority of that being because of church. You know, being around a whole bunch.
You definitely did.
Yeah. I was a little simpy cook. Okay, maybe not a cook. That's a little too far. I'm not gonna lie. But I was definitely teetering the line of beta. And I definitely would like to say that, you know, if I have sons, when I raise them, I definitely will raise them in the church, but also based off of principles that I teach them.
yeah,
Not purely based off of what they're learning at church, you know, or whatever they're learning from their mothers. I need to be in my son's lives because I'm not going to have any more children in this world that they say that came from me that are gonna be like, oh yeah, he's not in control of his own life.
yeah.
He somebody else is pulling his strings. Somebody else is telling him what to do. He's not his own man. That right there would piss me off, because not only do I see my son as a part of my legacy, I also see him as being a person that is supposed to be better than me. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to stuff like that, I need you to be, you know, in a sense, I probably won't say more masculine, but I will say that you should be on a track to be able to do better than me and eventually become more masculine than me. You see what I'm saying?
Or at least just be a strong man who doesn't, you know, like you don't.
Yeah, maybe
have to
not
be,
as masculine, but be a man of your.
I just think people kind of people be thinking that a strong man has to be some type of asshole, like a hella mean dude. You just gotta be a strong man who has integrity, has values, and stands on that shit.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be able to stand on it, right? You can still be a good person, but if somebody wrongs you, you know, you have to be able to speak up and acknowledge that there's a problem going on and that it's not all sweet over here. You know?
Being masculine does not mean that you should be confrontational. It just means that you shouldn't be afraid to be confrontational.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that right there.
That's gonna be a soundbite.
I love that actually.
That's a soundbite.
I love that. I love that. That's real stuff, bro. Bro. I just think that's honestly a reason why a lot of like in the 60s and 70s, 80s, a lot of black men started converting to Islam.
Mm-hmm.
because the message was more like they could relate to that message more.
Yeah.
You know,
I did notice that like Islam is definitely more of a masculine religion. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's a more at least with how it's taught, with how it's preached. Because like all of these texts, like they all, it's about how you interpret it.
Yeah, it's about discipline with them. Honestly, we're really gonna. I don't feel like Christianity pushes discipline that much.
No.
I feel like you can, hop in the religion, then hop back out. Dip your toe in the, in the holy water, and then take it out whenever you feel like it. No, but like, I feel like if you take, I feel like that's how it is with church. But if you are like a Christian alone, like aside from the church, you build your own discipline. You learn how to read the Bible every day. You learn how to pray every day. You learn how to meditate. You learn how to build connections with other people. You learn how to, aside from church.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that like church doesn't teach you this stuff, but they don't. If you don't have this relationship with God, you don't have any discipline.
No.
You can't. It's pretty hard for you because your relationship with God isn't. It should be the reason why you're going to church, not just because it's habitual.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to me because like a lot of children, and sometimes even lost adults who have been in the church and don't know what God is, tend to just go to church habitually.
It's facts. I mean, there's even when you think about like just church in general, you think of like, the mothers of the church. You never think about the fathers of the church, the people who are like really inspiring other young men to like, be role models for other people. You just listen to, the mothers of the church and how they view the world and how they've gone through life, but you need more male influences to shape the way that, males think. Because my dad always says this. He always says a man can't teach a man how to be a man, and a man can't teach a woman how to be a woman. A woman has to teach a woman how to be a woman, and a man has to teach a man how to be a man.
Jeez.
That's facts.
That
bro.
is a soundbite.
Nah, that's facts. I think people always people like downplay the role of a father in the house. They act like, oh, we don't need a dad.
A good father. Let's make that very clear. Cause some
bro, damn near even a father. Cause I've heard a lot of people act like a father isn't necessary in the household. Bro.
Yeah,
I've heard people act like that, and I'm like, bro, that is the furthest thing from the truth, bro.
And that propaganda right there is the reason why a lot of broken.
You might not need a father in order to survive, but in order to become the best of your ability as a man, as a strong man, I think a father is very important in a household, and not just like there are strong men who come from households where there's not a father present. I've seen it before, but I think those are anomalies.
Mm-hmm.
And even to go further, I feel that a father in a young girl's life is very important as well, because that's essentially what you're going to be looking for in a partner. No matter, even if you're looking for a woman, if your father, if your father is in the house, right? I feel that when you're looking for somebody, you're going to be looking for your father, whether it's directly looking for him or indirectly. So like you look for a certain like for instance, if your father was not there, right? I see this way too often. If your father is not there, you'll either have like now I'm not saying this for everybody, but I'm saying this for like a lot of people I've run crossed paths with. You either have abandonment issues, commitment issues, or you're afraid that that person's going to leave you.
Mm-hmm.
So you get real clingy. And I see that way too often. And it's crazy because most of the people who have good fathers, they tend to have higher standards, hold themselves to those higher standards, and are more sound individuals. I'm not saying that that's for everybody who has a father, because I definitely know some people who have been running these streets a little shifty, and they got a 2-parent household. Not finna say nobody's name, but it's just, you know, I see it way more often that, like, the absence of a father is discounted for what it's really worth.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like God would not put you on this earth if you know, with 2 parents, if you were only made to have one.
Mm-hmm. I think the other thing is, like, being a father is not celebrated as much anymore. So, like, people aren't highlighting, you know, good fathers anymore. So, like, for example, everyone, wants to talk about, like, LeVar Ball, for example, like, how he's just this, like, exploiting his children and all this other stuff. But I was listening to something he was saying the other day, and he was saying something that was actually kind of facts. It was like, everyone wants to like accuse me of exploiting my children, and I got them what their dream was, because if I weren't here, it would just be them and their mother, and they would be struggling because they don't have the same, like, they don't have the same motivation that I gave them. And I was like, yeah, think about it. If LeVar Ball wasn't impacting those 3 brothers, like, we would not hear from him. And it's like people want to talk about him being, like, such a bad father. He got what he said he was gonna get. He said he was gonna get his sons to the league, and he did it. So, like, there's no reason for us to, like, yeah, I mean, of course he has, you know, loud moments and stuff like that, and he got a different way of, you know, talking to people and stuff like that. But if you look at the root of what he did exactly what he said he was going to do, and that should be the goal of every, you know, parent, is to get their kid exactly the dream that they want, and do it in whatever way it needs to happen.
That's facts. Because I feel like at the end of the day, I think Joey said this. I don't remember if you said this on that last podcast or if it was off record, but you said that the job of a parent is for them to inspire them to do whatever they want to do. No matter, give them the tools to do whatever they want to do. No matter if you feel like it's stupid, you're still supposed to encourage your child to do whatever they want to do, and pursue their dreams. Because I remember, who was it who said that? It was somebody who said that they wanted to do karate or something, and that, you know, their father just wanted, you know, just supported him just for having a dream and chasing that dream. And no matter what, you know, anybody else told him, his father would always instill that reassurance that you are going to be great at no matter what you do. Was it that security guard?
Yeah, I mean, I could have told you that right there. I could have told you who it was. It was security guard at my job. Shout out Kaya. It's like one of the realest niggas I know, bro.
Facts.
Like, for real.
Facts.
He really be putting me on game, bro.
Jay-Z is a informant.
He basically said that confidence comes from your parents, and if your parents help you believe that you can do anything that you want, and from a young age, you're gonna grow up and actually believe that you can do anything you want when you get older, no matter what. You're gonna feel like you're successful in whatever you want to do. But if your parents don't, and he gave the example of his dad, like his dad let him do whatever he wanted to do when he was younger. His dad never restricted him from, well, if he wanted to play football, he let him do it. If he wanted to paint something, you know, his dad encouraged that, you know, because when you grow up, you don't feel like you're in a box. You feel like I feel like, for me personally, I feel like whatever I desire to do in my life, I will be successful at it. Because my mom, they really instilled, like, Like, she's always been big on me following my dreams and passions. And that's what I'm going to do. I think I can do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Yeah.
You know?
I forgot to say this in my podcast on the deteriorating family dynamic, but you kind of just reminded me. It's like this idea of like the importance of just family in general. When you think of like the wealthiest, like, you know, people in the world, they are family businesses and stuff like that, and like family like is so big in their lives. So like when you think of like, you know, owners of football teams and stuff like that, you always think of, you know, the Kraft family, the Jerry Jones family, and all these people, and they've built up this wealth together. But there's so many, like, I don't want to say in low income families, but just everyone's trying to make it out and not be that one person that makes it out. What about the, you know, everyone behind you? Like, you want to bring them up with you. And that's why I think it's like so important to like focus on like people who are trying to like impact their family and the areas they came from and the communities that they came from. But like, you rarely see that they get all the media attention. It's always about the people who are, you know, the most loud and stuff like that. You know, you never see like, you know, the community people who are, you know, doing work for the betterment of the people around them.
But that's facts, bro. I'm not gonna lie. One thing that I hear like a lot of black people say is whenever there's like a well-off like white kid or dude, like they call them trust fund babies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and although it's true, I think that I want my child to have a trust fund too.
Yeah, facts.
You know, I think we should strive for the same thing in our community. I want to set my kids up.
I want my child
success.
to have a silver spoon stuck up his ass.
Hell yeah, I don't want my son to struggle. And I think in the black community, we are so caught up in the struggle, we forget what happens after the struggle. When do we start building? When do we start building a community?
We should not normalize being broke at 30.
No.
Facts, like,
and the reason because of that is because we push, you know, partying in our 20s, and that's not how things should be working. We shouldn't be doing that. If anything, we should be, you know, finding our first little gigs that like really make us some real money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like trying to. I'm not saying now. I actually want to ask this question. How do you guys feel about young marriage?
Honestly,
because I've been feeling this type of way about it. I really want to give my opinion on this.
Honestly,
but I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for opportunity, and I feel like this is the opportunity.
I feel like, honestly, the idea of marriage has been like so like debated over the past like year and a half, because I know y'all like heard about the thing that happened with Drake where he put hot sauce and like this the fact that like that's like something that would actually happen just shows how like people aren't being raised normally anymore.
Oh my God, that's facts.
So like people are literally raised to just be like get to the top by any means necessary, and if that means trapping somebody, then that's what it means, which is like so crazy to think about. And I think that's why it's hard for people to like get married now, because you can't trust anybody. So like as a young person, like I don't see the need for young marriage unless it's somebody that I can fully like depend on, and that doesn't happen like overnight. That doesn't happen in, you know, a year or two. That happens years down the making. So like, yeah, I don't see many people moving towards that anymore, and I don't think a lot of people will, to be honest.
Yeah. Joe. I know your disposition when it comes to marriage, but I'm talking about marriage in general. I mean, I'm not talking about marriage in general.
What do you mean what's my disposition? What's my disposition? What is it?
please? I'm just playing.
I have never been anti.
No, I'm just playing.
But yeah, I said nah, bro. I don't, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't really have an opinion on young marriage. I don't. When I see people getting married young, I don't look at it as a bad thing. Shit, I think black people should get married, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how you build. That's how you start the building of a community in a stable, functional household, right? But I think the one thing I will say, I think healthy people should get married.
Yes.
Like people who have healthy mindsets and are ready to build a functional house should get married. I think a problem is when one of the biggest arguments against the 2-parent household is how toxic it is.
Facts.
You know, and I think how you beat that toxicity is by having black people go to, or whether that's therapy or whatever it is, whatever we need in order for two individuals to be healthy and have a healthy partnership. We need that if we want to have a functional society and community, because right now we don't really we don't have a community anymore. You know, we don't we have areas where people live, but we don't own nothing in that community. Well, we don't own anything. We're not building to own something, right?
Facts.
And Claude, that's where you talking about the deteriorating family dynamic. Because when you have a deteriorating family dynamic, you get a deteriorating community dynamic as well. Because community comes from family.
Yeah.
But going back to what you were saying, Michael, I don't really have a big opinion on young people getting married. I don't have a strong opinion on it, so I'm not really gonna take a side. I don't really have a strong.
I'm going to say something that's kind of like radical.
Okay.
I think, number one, I don't think that people should get. These are my five warnings, or discretion advised, or take discretion with these words that I'm about to say. Number one, I don't think that unhealthy people should even be in relationships. Let alone be getting married to people until you've actually gone to therapy or found God yourself. Two, I can't do this because I honestly probably just can't trust a person enough to actually start a family this way. Number three, I personally don't know if I would get married paperwork wise, because I don't want to end up getting divorced and then having to give somebody 50% of everything I've worked for. Unless we worked for it together, then we could talk about it. Because, or I'm not even gonna say talk about it. Then I would say you deserve it because we built it together. You know what I'm saying? Number four, people nowadays are just too immature to even contemplate even getting married in our 20s. At least when it comes to mass people. I know some people who probably would get married now and might do okay. I'm not gonna say as long as our grandparents, but they might do okay. They might last about 15, maybe 20 years. They might last that. I'll say they last more than 10. I'll say they last more than 10. And my fifth one is that, as everything I say, this is not going to work for everybody, nor will this work for everybody who fits in these parameters. But I feel like this is a very good idea. I think, aside from media, and if we take away how everybody is trained nowadays because of social media to think about relationships in a toxic manner, I think that marriage at a young age is actually good. Let me explain why. Because when you start off in the world with somebody, or if you start off in the world, you're not supposed to start off with somebody. You're supposed to start off by yourself, right? And when you move out, you get your first first, you get your first sense of freedom, you know. But in the back of everybody's head, you know, they're always thinking about maybe there is the one out there. Let's say you meet the one, right? Now, I feel like this is the biggest misconception. People aren't thinking about, they don't think about security when they first fall in love. They first think about, let's see where this takes us.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of thinking about structuring, you know, this is what needs to happen in order for us to be together. You know what I'm saying? They let love try to keep the glue and try to, you know, make the relationship work just by loving each other without having these boundaries, having the respect there, and not having, you know, the accountability and the emotional responsibility of taking each other into consideration. Now, the reason I say that people should do this young is because I don't see a reason why married households are not all doing exceedingly well. Think about it this way. When I was in my sociology class, my professor told me a couple of things that will stick to me to this day. Buy Ford stock, and that I need to take in consideration when I think about, you know, family dynamics, that, not to be stereotypical, but Jewish people have been doing this for years. They will have the woman file for, before they get married, they'll have the woman file for bankruptcy and then collect welfare checks, while the husband is building up his cash to buy a house. That way, he can claim the kids on his name so he can have more deductibles. And then once they buy the house, she can just move in. And now she's eligible to go out and buy more property, because now she doesn't have the I don't know if you guys know about real estate like that, but she doesn't have any dinks against her FHA loan.
Mm-hmm.
So she can go out and get one herself. And now they have another may have more real estate property and investments, so that they can honestly not even have to pay for their mortgage anymore. They can just have rental properties. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the only way you can do this is if you're young. I'm not saying like this is the only. Let me rephrase.
How young are you
Not
talking
the only
about?
way that you can do this, but it's best to start this stuff when you're young. You're not going to, once you have these kids, and you're going to feel like you can't do this stuff. It's best to do this stuff when you're young, when you have all these ambitions. You have way more ambitions if you start young, because your ambitions come when you're young. When you get older, you don't want to do all the stuff that you once wanted to do. You get stuck in a job, a dead-end job, or, you know, your vision shifts. Not saying that everybody's vision who shifts ends up, you know, in a bad situation, but it's not as fresh, and it's not as, I don't want to say wild, but it's not as ambitious as it once was. You're starting to think with parameters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, the world says I can't do this, so I'm going to aim smaller and I'm going to reach for the clouds instead of the sky. No! You got to reach for that stuff early. But the reason why I also say that young marriage is a plus, in my opinion, is because when you look at the community, people are already having kids young. People are having kids young, and they're ending up with baby daddies, and they're ending up with baby mamas, right? Mm-hmm. So, in my opinion, to cut all this shit out, you know, and to create more stability in the community, would be for people to say, hey, I'm going to assume assume accountability for my actions, or I'm going to be proactive and be like, hey, I feel like we're going to get really close really quickly. Let's either slow this down or be responsible about the way that we're going to be taking this. If we're going to be having unprotected sex, then we should probably be talking about long term.
Mm-hmm. But
instead of just sticking, you know, your willy, or letting somebody stick their willy in your shit unprotectedly not caring about whose baby I'm finna be having. You guys don't even fucking be thinking about whose children you're gonna be having. Like, do you hear yourself? Mm-hmm. You're bringing children into this world without even considering who the parent of that child is going to be. You yourself is a child, right? The only time that people really mature is when they have children, and that's when they start to think things real serious, or if they're about to get married. So which would you rather do? Would you rather bring a child into this world and then decide to be serious, or actually take the time to develop yourself and become serious before you bring a child into this world?
That might have been one of the most legendary Michael Blue rants. Cause you just talked for like 10 straight minutes. I ain't not even lying. But you actually spitting though. Like we need to bring accountability back. It needs to come back, because a lot of the time, bro, I be seeing people they be picking the wrong dude and blaming on the dude. Mm-hmm. When you chose that dude, bruh.
You be choosing.
Just for like, I'm not gonna lie, like me personally, if I end up in a bad situation with a girl, I'm gonna put blame on myself, because I picked her. Mm-hmm. I chose her, bruh. And although, yeah, she might have did something fucked up to me, and it's gonna be like that. I might be mad at her, but at the end of the day, I picked her. I saw the red flags. I saw them,
and you didn't run.
I ignored them.
We've all been there, brother.
We've all been there,
brother. Have we all been there?
We've been there, bro. And I want to go back to something Claude asked earlier, but you didn't hear him. He asked, how young are we talking?
Oh,
when it comes
I didn't hear that.
You said young people getting married.
Yeah, because for like, just thinking, like, based off of what you were saying, it's like we're in like college right now, and we're like, you know, in a melting pot of different sort of people from all over the country or whatever. And like, when I talk to like girls at Hampton, no one's ever talking about that. Like, no one's ever talking about how can we, you know, make, you know, millions of dollars in the future. It's all like, you know, take me on dates, take me on this, take me on that. And it's like, what do I get out of that? Like, the other day, I have a quick story.
They don't have admission.
Quick story. This is funny.
Talk your shit, Claude.
Hear something.
This happened mad the other day. So like, I was just chilling, right? And this girl I used to talk to, like, right before I left in the summer, she was like, "Can you pay for my gas and I'll come link with you after you get off work?" And I was like, what do I look like?
Trick, baby. I got nothing to take, but a whole lot of gay.
What do I look like paying for your gas from San Jose? San Jose goes to SJSU, bro. I'm like, but like that's so much of like modern day like relationship. It's like, if you're not like, you know, paying for my lifestyle, you're not worth it. And it's like, that's how so much of like relationships are right now. So that's why I say like young relationships and young like marriage is so unrealistic. So that's why I was interested to see like, how young were you talking? Because like,
I'm talking okay, taking consideration that I feel that, you know, in my ideal world, if I were to be the president of the Black Society, not saying of the United States, I would be promoting trade school for a lot of people, not just for men, but for women as well. And, you know, college that is a lot more direct, and that you're actually learning more things that have to do with accurate history. I would require all that stuff, but I'm not saying Michael Blue for president. But all that to be said, I think that in order to get I feel like the right time would probably be from 25. In an ideal world, 25 to 30.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Because I'm not gonna lie. Earlier, I thought you was talking about like 22.
Yeah, that's what I was
23.
thinking. I was thinking
Cause,
like fresh
cause
out of college.
Yeah, because Michael, I'm not gonna lie. I was getting ready to ask you, would you get married right now, bro? Like, I was about to ask you that. I was like, you found the right girl, you get married right now?
Hell no.
I was gonna ask you that because I'm like, I was thinking in my head like, how young are we talking, bro?
Cause I actually had a conversation with my granny earlier about this. Because I plan on moving out very soon. I need to buy my first property before I even think about getting married.
Facts.
Which will be 25. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you know, in that dream that I had just ranted about, I was saying that it'd be easier if people buy houses together. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you're able to buy a house together, it's quicker. Knowing how girls are now, if we're gonna be completely frank, I'm not buying a house with a person until I get my own house. Mm-hmm. Because in that divorce settlement, she gonna take that house.
Yeah.
She ain't gonna touch mine, but I know that she gonna touch the big house, and all I need is my little small house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, marriage is an investment for women. We all know this. Let's just say it out loud. I'm saying this on the Black Lotus Podcast. I know that you women take advantage of husbands as tricks. We know this. Baby, can you get my car fixed today? No problem, baby. I got you. Hey, baby, I need to get my nails done. Okay, baby, I got you. See, back in the day, if we're gonna talk about this, I saw this TikTok, and this is gonna make so many women mad. I'm sorry, I have to say this.
Talk your shit.
She was on TikTok, and somebody asked her, who handles the money? And so she said that she works a full job, but she has her checks direct deposited to her husband, and her husband gives her allowances every week. But he pays the bail. He pays all the bills and stuff, and makes sure that everything's good. Does all the investments and all that stuff, because he's good with money. Mm-hmm. But he takes care of his wife.
Yeah.
So she's not out here looking crazy. She still got money in her pockets. She gets a couple $100, maybe not a couple, a few $100, every week, for her to go out, buy the groceries, take care of herself, go shopping. But if you ask, but from what Claude told me, she's not investing into you. She's not investing into a relationship. A lot of people aren't investing into other people. They're just expecting people to invest in them.
Facts.
And that's the dating culture. That's the flaw in the dating culture in itself. How are you going to ask me for something, and at minimum, your return on my investment is some coochie?
Wait, hey, Michael.
Some community. Most of the time, I'm not gonna lie. Some community coochie.
I'm not gonna lie here. Although there are a lot of birds in this world, there are good women out here.
I will say that as well.
Who have values, morals, who aren't trying to take advantage of a nigga. So I wanna say shout out to y'all. Y'all know who y'all are, but hey, and if you a bird, you know who you are too. You know.
You definitely know who you are if you a bird.
And just like I got things I need to work on, you got things you need to work on too. Mm-hmm. So let's all be honest with ourselves. Let's take accountability, because a lot of us don't be taking accountability. We be blaming everybody else for what's be going on to us. We blaming everybody else. We don't be looking in the mirror. Hey, bruh, if you keep talking to dudes and shit keep failing, you need to think about yourself. What am I doing wrong?
And another thing, stop.
You keep blaming it on
these good niggas, man. These birds be just playing these. And I remember back in those days, soft dudes get I'm not finna be like Joey and tell you to grab your nuts. But
wait, hold on. Because I'm about to tell you to grab your nuts right now. Hey, bro. Hey, I'm not just gonna sit here and blame the women, bro. Because there's a lot of men here who getting tricked. Like you guys are tricks, bro. You guys are letting people walk over you. You guys are letting women walk over you. You know what I'm saying? You know who you are, bro. You know who you are. You need to. You need to, like Michael just said, like, bro, grab your nuts. Mm-hmm. Grab your nuts. And you might need to cough a little too. Cause, bro, I be seeing it. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be one of them niggas, bro.
Hey, man.
I used to. I used to be one of them. Too. And honestly, I don't know what I would do in my next relationship. I don't know what I would do, or the next time I ever take a girl seriously. But I know I'm not gonna be no damn trick. I've reached a point in my life to where I know who I am, what I do, and what I do not allow. And I'm not gonna get walked on, bro. Like it's gonna be like a freaking Batman signal in my head, bro. Like nah. Like I know something's wrong, bro. I know something's wrong. When I know something's wrong, I know it's wrong. I'm like, all right, bro. Am I being disrespected here? Let me fall back a little bit.
We have countermeasures now, don't we, Ray?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've gained too much respect for myself to be disrespected constantly by anybody, including women, bro. I don't play that shit no more.
Especially women now.
I don't play that shit no more, bro.
I can't.
I guess that's my message to the world right there, bro.
To all the young homies, to all the young P's out there, to all the young brothers out there, keep your heads up, grab your nuts and call.
And take accountability, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, that might have been one of the most toxic things I've ever said, but that has some actuality to it. I feel that we need to reform the way that we look at masculinity, brothers. I'm speaking purely to the brothers, sisters. If you are a mother of a young brother, please listen as well. We need to restructure the way that we look at masculinity. Masculinity in itself is not toxic. Mm-hmm. Let me say that again. Masculinity in itself is not toxic. In fact, it is healthy. What is toxic is to deny a young man of his masculinity. Because once you emasculate a man, he will not be able to step into the sexual marketplace with the same value. And once you can't do that, what is the point of building a family? That's me right there. That's all.
Bro, that's fact. It's no point in building a family if you can't even walk in your masculinity, bro. Because then you finna continue the curses onto your son or daughter or whatever. Like your daughter might grow up and be like, damn, I like weak men. Mm-hmm. And
that's wild.
Or you go to the woman has a soft dad, and then she tries to find the exact opposite and goes to the ultra masculine. The like the more dangerous side of masculinity, you know. I think another thing about masculinity, I think I'm not gonna lie, I damn near got into a fight with some kids at my job the other day, because they be coming and stealing every night, and I be trying to preach to them, bro, and I be like, y'all bullshitting, bro. Like why y'all be doing this? You know, like I'll be like really trying to make them kids think. I'm like, why y'all be doing this? It be some black boys in there, and then I preached to them and walked away back to where I work at, back to my station, and then I see him fighting, bro. One of them tried to kick my uncle, and I told Michael I went whole Super Saiyan on that dude, bro. I didn't touch him, but I screamed. I got right in front of him. He was hella scared. And then as he was walking away, he was talking hella shit to me. Talking hella like it's gunplay out here and talking all that stuff. You know? If I wasn't strong or at least aware of my masculinity in that moment, I would have thought that to be a man, I need to fight this dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's gonna make me a man. That's how I'm gonna prove my masculinity to him. I'm going to fight him back because he's talking shit. You wanted to fight me, but I had to walk away, bro. I'm not gonna lose my job over this. I gotta control my emotions. I gotta compose myself.
Because you have responsibilities.
I have responsibility as a man, bro, and I can't be possibly losing my job over dumb stuff. Over a teenager, bro. You know, I think a lot of time we, especially in the black community, we kind of think we always gotta fight back. We have to respond with violence in order to be a man. That's not always what being a man is. And there's definitely times where you do have to fight back.
Yes.
You know?
For surely.
It's definitely times where you gotta fight back. You gotta in order to protect yourself in whatever situation. You know, and when that happens, but there's also times where you gotta be composed and know that if I don't fight him, that's not gonna make me any less of a man.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And I think it's important that like more men have that kind of mindset of like, what is really gonna happen, or what is really gonna result out of me doing whatever it is I'm gonna do. For example, the fight. Like, yeah, you lose your job, and then what? Like, you didn't get anything out of it. Like, you didn't become more of a man for beating up some teenagers that were trying to steal. Like, you lost your job. Now you have to go out and find a new job. And now you're in a worse position than you were. Like, say you had financial, like, bills and stuff to pay. Then you lose that security. And, yeah, I just think more men need to just be more responsible and think about what can happen in the future as a result of this. And so, like, if a bunch of, like in high school, honestly, this might be sort of debated, but I don't really see a point in, like, dating that heavily, like, or actively looking at, like,
Facts.
while you're young.
Facts.
Like, because you have so many other priorities and so many other things that you could be doing with your time other than investing into other people. Like, you barely know how to invest your time and your money into yourself. Like, for example, like, the first thing I did when I was 15 is got a job. Like, I've been working at golf courses since I was 15.
Jeez, that is a
but that's real shit. I didn't start working till last year.
Yeah,
bro.
that's what I'm saying. Like, but like, even when I was like working and then like school coming back, like having money in my pocket, everyone knew that I was that guy that had the job. Like, but I wasn't like over here flaunting my money, or I wasn't, spending it on people just because I had it. Like, I was on that mentality of like, hey, I can take some of the pressure off my family, and I can, actually work for this money and do things with my money that I want to do. So like when COVID hit, like I noticed a bunch of people were just inside, just bored, like, and complaining about being bored. And I was like, you literally have the time to do like all the things that you said you wanted to do, but never got around to. So like, you had time to learn about investments, you had time to learn about, real estate and all this other stuff, but you chose to be bored. Like, you could have got a job, you could have done this, you could have, got your real estate license if that was what you were, working towards. But there's so many people who are just okay with being bored, and that's like wild to me.
We talk about that all the time right
there. I mean, it's accountability, bro. Like, people are always waiting for the next big thing to happen, bro. Like, me personally, bro, I take that quarantine out, like, bro, it's time to change my life, bro.
Facts.
I was working out every day, and those who know me before know me now see how different I look. You can't make excuses, and even though that kind of quarantine period probably won't happen again, we can still use that knowledge to build things in the present, because there are times when, like, there's still boredom in our lives today. Like, we be on our phone a lot, then there because we're bored.
Mm-hmm.
we need to convert that time into actual something productive. And I'm not even trying to preach like I'm higher above, because I be on my phone way too damn much when I could be reading something like that. Like when I could be improving my life and further reaching the goals that I have set for myself for that particular day or week or month. You know, I be bullshitting sometimes. You know, bullshit. Like we was talking about earlier, bro.
Bitch be bullshit, nigga. Niggas be bullshit.
Be bullshitting, bro. Like it's crazy.
Podcast,
you know?
that is Josiah's favorite word now. I just want to let y'all know.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. When I was talking to them kids yesterday, I'll be like, "Y'all be bullshitting." I said that to him. I said that, bro. That's the end of my favorite word. I'm not gonna lie. I swear to God, I said that to him. I said that to all them little kids, all them little 14, 15-year-olds. I'm like, y'all bullshit. Like, and right now, if you're bullshitting, step it up, bro. Because we got work to do. Because I know if you listening to this podcast, you a real nigga. And I know you on your shit. I know you on your shit, but I know you not perfect. So let's stop that little bullshitting and let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
I'm gonna put up a counter of how many times you said that in that sentence.
Oh man. Oh, please don't do. Hey, if this was going on YouTube, you could then like edit like a little.
Yeah, the amount of times Joey has said bullshit.
Ding ding ding. But nah, bro, it's this accountability podcast, man. You gotta be accountable, man. That's the hardest thing though, holding yourself accountable, bro. That's the hardest thing.
It is.
It's the hardest thing.
Like I was telling somebody the other day, I'm stuck in a situation right now where I shouldn't even be in this situation, but I am in a point where I couldn't take accountability because I didn't even know what I was doing. But now that I know what I'm doing, it's time for me to take accountability, grow some balls, and just cut it off. It's not what you're thinking. It's not what you're thinking, Joey. It's not what you're thinking. I'm going to continue to make that bad decision. Okay, I'm gonna continue to make that bad decision. But as I make this one, I must say no to others. So.
Oh, brother. Oh man. Hey, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to talk about Claude, bro. What was St. Joe's like, bro?
Honestly, I don't even remember much at St. Joe's. Real talk. But the funny part is, like, whenever I like think about St. Joe's, I think about like how like close everyone was. Like everybody knew everybody, and everybody knew everything about everybody. So like nothing was a secret there. So like, I guess that was cool, but it was also kind of weird because like, you know, everyone was in everybody's business, and it was hard to like kind of find your own path because everybody wanted you to do what they were doing, you know, and you had to like pull yourself out of that sort of mentality of like, I just want to do what everyone else is doing, and like really find your own path and find your own like sort of way of living and stuff like that. So I mean, am I grateful for everything that like I learned at St. Joe's? Yes. Do I think I could have got it somewhere else? Probably. But like the experience itself of like being so close with everybody, I think that's something that I wouldn't have gotten many other places.
I was curious of that because I just always wondered what St. Joe's was like.
St. Joe's was really like strict though. That's the thing. Like not even strict, but like they just didn't let anything like fun happen.
Yeah, but it's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I had known like all the black people like in our class at St. Joe's, but then I'm like, I discovered that you went to St. Joe's. I'm like, what?
Did you know? Like did you know G before my fault? Did you know G before Sauce Gang?
I knew Gerald. I kind of I kind of knew him.
You knew of him, so he counted within that. Within the What about Lenny?
I didn't.
You know Lenny. Never mind.
I didn't. Yeah, of course. Lenny, but my boy. Hey, Claude, did you hoop or not?
I hooped freshman year. Yo, that team.
He was on the freshman team.
That team was tragic.
Yeah, that was the worst team I've ever played in my life. Like y'all was dog ass. Like y'all sucked. Like I'm not, bro. No disrespect. Like playing them was like playing some special kids, bro.
Yo, you know what's funny? I got some funny stories about that team.
After saying that,
though. I remember playing y'all at our gym. Y'all spanked us like 60-12. Like it was tragic. I remember scoring like 2 or 3 times, and I was like done. I was like, yo, this team is like I can't work with this.
I was launching like 4-pointers that game. I was pulling up from major deep. It was like
it got to the point
I was down
where like
when Josiah Jacobs is doing that shit, you guys are getting your asses killed.
Yeah, but I damn near rode the bench on that team. But when I that was one of the games I got to play a lot. So I was launching.
No, that's the thing. It got to the point where like we got like scored on by like the worst people on each team every single game. So like
you had those pity years.
Yeah. So like it felt so bad as a player to see the other team cheering because one of their like last string guys made a bucket, and you have no control over that because you're getting blasted by 40 points.
Bro, I remember when we played you guys at St. Mary's. I have the video of me like scoring on a fast break on Lenny. I remember. I started that game.
I didn't even get to play that game.
Oh, for real?
No. That was the week that I was getting ready to join the golf team, and I didn't show up to practice one day, and the coach was hella mad, and so like he let me do warm ups. He let me like be like the captain, like go out and like get all the stuff with the ref and everything, and then he sat me on the bench the rest of the day. I was so mad.
Oh wow, that's crazy, bro. That's actually crazy.
Shout out to Coach McAdams.
Yeah, my boy Coach McAdams. Shout out my boy. I love that man.
Yo,
I freaking love that man. I don't know what he's doing now, but that's
I saw dog. Coach Jimmy at I think it was like a J.C. Penney's the other day. That shit was so nostalgic.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy, bro. Damn. Hey, Claude, and one more thing about school, bro. Hampton, bro. What's it like, bro?
Hampton?
Here we go.
Jeez. What is Hampton really like? That's the question. Because
you still have to take it to the philosophical level.
Because like let's just say it like this. Hampton is predominantly women. Like it's like 35% man.
Okay, so it's just like Howard.
Yeah, so it's like predominantly women. So like when you like walk through campus and you hear a lot of like the things that are said, it's a lot of like this like it's giving and it's like, you know, the period and everything.
Oh God.
So like when you're like with like that every day, like you kind of like, for me personally, I'm kind of just like over it. But like I still like accept it, you know, like cuz it's nothing you could do about it. Like you're going to find like, you know, girls that aren't like that obviously, but when a good portion of them are like that, you kind of develop this sort of negative view on the campus as a whole. But like it's also funny to me talking to like some dudes because there are like dudes at Hampton who are just like not at all anywhere like near their purpose or anything like that. They're just there because they were forced to be. So they were like, they're like guys who are like, you know, like, what do you want to do with your major or whatever? And they're like, you know, I'm not really sure yet. And I'm like, well, what do you like to do? And they're like, you know, I like to, you know, party, hang out, smoke, do this, do that. And I'm like, well, that's not really a...
It's not really a profession there. You want to be a professional blunt roller? Like, what do you...
People, dudes actually say that. They say, I like to party. And
yes,
smoke.
Like, that's one thing that, like, a lot of people... Like, not a lot of people, but you'll find more often than not, people will be like, yeah, I like to party, have fun, do this, do that. And I'm like...
Actually, that's cool.
Like, why are you here?
Bro, that's so interesting. I mean, me personally, I don't know what I want to do with my major. But if somebody asks me what I like to do, I'm not gonna say I like to party. Like I like me. I like history. Like I like to read. Just like certain like shit, podcasting too. Like just things like that. Like that's very interesting. I can't imagine somebody saying that with like a straight ass face. Like,
I mean, the first time I heard it, I was like actually like shook. Like I couldn't like react. I was like, what does that mean? But like, it's also kind of funny because like, there's a lot of like petty Hampton Howard beef. Because like, literally, like after we beat y'all in football again.
I
had to say that
again, but
like I guess you know that meme that was going around about like the party sign and like they had different like words on it and stuff like that. I guess we were like dogging Howard, and some people at Howard were like getting mad at like people at Hampton, and then everyone was like, Howard's all butthurt because we beat him in football again, and we were like, you know, like why is this childish like stuff happening? Like, go to class.
That's hella funny. I mean, yeah, that Howard versus Hampton rivalry, but that shit is y'all be beating our ass, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I was at that game, bro. I was there. Like, that shit was embarrassing, bro.
Y'all almost got beat by Norfolk. That right there was so funny to me. That right there is so funny to me. Cause
our team isn't that good, bro. It wasn't that good.
They did lose.
Yeah, like when you went freshman year, they beat us on our homecoming.
I'm talking about the last year I went. I'm talking about this year.
I don't remember, bro.
Cause I don't know. I remember they were getting ran. They were getting
ran.
They did because they caught an interception at the last play of the game, and the dude he had the Trojan helmet on. He was running around the field with the Trojan helmet.
But for some reason, I don't even remember the game, bro.
I was hanging out. Never mind. Let me stop.
Oh, I remember now. Oh. Damn, yeah. Damn, bro. I'm like, damn, wow. I remember it. I took pictures on Instagram during that game.
Yeah, you remember because I said that, huh?
Yeah, I really remember. Nah, but, Claude, I do remember there was, like, a lot of discourse about the, going on about that stuff.
It's always interesting to me. I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but, like, I always think about like what would HBCUs look like if more of the top black sort of students in like, you know, the country went to HBCUs over PWIs. Like if top athletes, top students, instead of going to like UCLA, USC, and all these other schools, what if they started going to, you know, the Hamptons, the FAMUs, Howard, North Carolina A&T, and all these other HBCUs? Like, how would that change the overall sort of like black culture in this country? Because if you think about it, like most of these like big schools, is, at least from like sports standpoint, like all of these like football players, top recruits, they're all, you know, black 9 times out of 10. Like, and
Oh,
if they were sort of, instead of committing to Alabama, Oregon, and all these other schools, if they were committing to Howard, Hampton, like, how does that shape your culture as like a black like community in the country? I've always just thought about that, and just it's weird to think like a lot of black recruits don't even think about black schools.
bro, I think about this. I think about this a lot. I've made a few posts on the Black Lotus Instagram. On our story, I made I had a really long caption about it. I've never thought about the top black students. What would happen if they went to HBCUs? That's really interesting to me. I think that would I'll tackle that. Then I'll go to the sports. I think.
Whoa, I just thought about that too. Now that I think about
If the top black students went to HBCUs, because to be honest, like at Howard, I think a lot of the top black students go to Howard. I think a lot of top black students go to Howard, but I think some of the HBCUs that aren't as highly regarded, like since some of the lower tier HBCUs, I think that would shift the culture of the school. But I do, it's all like, but it would be crazy to see, because I think HBCUs are very party oriented. I think that would change a lot if the top black students went to HBCUs, because I think the most upper tier probably aren't gonna go to parties like that. They're probably gonna be studying really hard. You know, I think, but a big thing about HBCUs is the culture. It is the party culture. Yeah, at most HBCUs, especially when I see it at Howard, it would be I never thought about that, bruh. I've never thought about like that would, and the thing is, it's crazy because it used to be like that. Pre-integration, like black students, the only schools we could go to were HBCUs. Like those were the schools that accepted us. So it would be bro, bro. If you listen to this and you go to HBCU, bro, or you're black, bro, like,
yeah, comment what you think it would look like.
Yeah, I'm finna on Spotify. I'm gonna add one of them. I'm gonna add that in the questions box.
I think it would be interesting because I feel like legacies would grow on top of, like, I don't want to say nepotism, but like, within, I don't think that. Okay, I would say nepotism would grow as well within like corporations, but I think like people like from like Lincoln and like Fisk and FAMU and Beth Cookman. I don't think Morris Brown's is still a school. Is that still a school? Is Morris Brown still around?
I'm not sure.
But the smaller HBCUs that like have like real like have historical value, have historical value as much as Howard and those schools, I feel like it would open up the credibility for like more respectable like jobs. You know what I mean? Like people can get into like law school a whole lot easier, or they can get like jobs and have it not be lower than some state school, like have more credibility than some state schools. Like I feel like one of the reasons why some people were telling me not to go to Lincoln was because they said that the credibility was going to be lower than if I were to go like to SF State, because not only was it not a big school, but it was a HBCU that wasn't one of the top HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So if more top tier students were going to HBCUs in general, I feel like that would just open up, the lanes. When you're talking about top tier students in general.
Claude, another thing, when you talk about the whole black culture, I think more black people, more of the top black students. If we, let's say all of them to HBCUs, I think we would have more racial pride. I think we would have more racial pride and feel more of an urge and sense to build something within our community after we leave school. In my education in Black America class, I had to write a final paper on any topic I chose.
Oh, send me that. Send it to me. I forgot. You forgot to send it to me.
I don't know. The paper really wasn't the best quality that I could have put out.
Oh, brother, I told you to write it the best you could.
Nah, but I didn't feel like that. But when I was researching, we have like Howard has like a database where you can like look at clips from all types of different black professors and politicians, just like a big database on any subject. And I don't remember who said it. I was watching a video about. He said that black students who attend HBCUs go on to get more terminal degrees per capita than black students who go to PWIs. Terminal degree, for those who don't know, is like a degree beyond your bachelor's, like master's, PhD. More black students got those degrees per capita compared to black students who went to PWIs. And I thought that was so interesting because those black students probably feel a greater need to help their race after, because they're around black people all the time. And you really, at HBCU, you get a sense of all aspects of black culture. It's not just rich kids who go to HBCUs, you know, especially a school like Howard. It's not just rich kids who go to Howard, bro. It's students who had to really make it out the mud. Like, but then there is rich kids, you know. It's all types of different people, and you really see the difference in how different our upbringing is, and like you really you just develop more like you know hella different people. You want to help more people after you leave. That's me personally. I feel like that hella. I have never, going to Howard has changed me a lot because I never felt as indebted to my race as I do now. You know, like I seen them black kids stealing the other day. Like I felt a need to fucking preach to them because I hate that shit. If I was the manager of my store, I'd probably hire more black people, because it's in a black neighborhood, and just to see change happen in their mindsets.
That's a good hypothesis. Do you think if your store was full of black people, like full of black employees, that they would respect the shoplifters would respect the store more?
Bro, I think they do. I think they would, because I've had people say to me, I would have stole that if you wasn't checking me out. Because yeah, bro. I've people said that to me. I would have walked out the store with that item, and they would have gotten away with it because of the laws in San Francisco. They're all fucked. They would have gotten away with it if I wasn't the one checking them out, because they respect me. You know, so it's really interesting conversation. And to pivot over to the athletic side of it, I think it's crazy to me how we as black people, like, we dominate the sports landscape in America. If we all decided to go to HBCUs, we would make so much money for these schools.
Oh my god, it'd be ridiculous.
We would make so much money.
Like,
because wait, can I just say this? Because not only would we make money for the colleges itself, but we would be circulating so much money within like the actual community. It would actually like be crazy because the black dollar would stay in our hands. It would stay with us. It would stay with us.
And the other thing is, the other way I look at it is like, think about, so say for example, the top football players in the country, top black athletes go to, let's just say Howard, for example. Howard in turn gets more money from the media buzz, all that stuff, and everything like that. Howard then could, if they wanted to, use that money to sort of develop a program or develop whatever sort of machinery. Say they want to upgrade the medical program or the medical field or the biology field, the biology labs, and then that brings more of the top black students there with them. So you get not only the athletes, but you also get the top black students, because now you're actually putting money into your program. So, like, for example, like, everyone wants to go to Stanford for, like, their nursing and their, you know, business programs. What if the black HBCUs have that same technology, that same sort of investment money and stuff like that put into their programs?
I think way more black kids would go.
Yeah, then way more black kids would go. And then you see more of the black community, like, flourishing, and that in turn just changes the way black people not only view themselves, but the way the world views black people as a whole.
Because that's how we take the power back in our community. Like, fuck, like, I'm tired of people trying to depend on white people to get things done for us. That is a way that we could flip the power dynamic. There's so much money in sports, bro. So much money.
And it wouldn't even take that much time.
Hey, because white people like to see the monkey jump.
It would, bro, Claude, it wouldn't even take that much time. But here's the thing. Those athletes, that first generation of athletes who do that, they don't want to sacrifice their NFL prospects because those programs aren't as good.
Here's the way I look at it, though. It's like, so, like, take Mikey Williams, for example.
Yeah.
Mikey Williams can go to the league either way. If he plays for Howard versus if he plays for Duke, he can go to the league either way just because of the name and the reputation that he's built up. Bronny James. Bronny can go to the league either way because of his family, because of whatever talent he has. He can go to the league whether he goes to Duke or whether he goes to Hampton.
No, I agree with that. I agree.
If he were to just do it, not just those two, for example, but if more people would just rely on their talent and just do it, then I don't think that there would be any kind of drop off. Like, I think Duke is going to give you more opportunities than Hampton? Yes, right now. But if the top recruits all went to Hampton instead of Duke, they're going to follow Hampton, not Duke. Because that's where all the top recruits are.
Somebody got to start it, though. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, no. What I was going to say is that I think that model is easier to do in basketball, because basketball is more like a one player can change a whole team type thing. I think in football, you have to like actually build like a roster, and if you're a bad player if you're a really good player on a really bad team, it's gonna be hard for you to do good, because football is such a team oriented sport. You know, like if you're the best quarterback in your class and you come to Howard and your O-line is not what it's supposed to be, you're not gonna be able to perform, and you're not getting no looks from NFL from NFL scouts. So I think we need to if it happened, it has to be like a big ass group, or you have somebody like Deion. I love what Deion Sanders is doing at Jackson State. I love what he's doing, because Deion is a man who is walking in his purpose right now. This is his legacy after his professional sports career, like building up the HBCUs. Jackson, Mississippi is like a predominantly black city, and he has brought so much money into that community just because of how good his team is. And something that made me hella mad is the 5-star corner, I think from Travis Hunter. He committed there. It was hella white people mad. And it's like, what? Why do why do y'all give a fuck, bro? Why do y'all care? And not just that, this is a cornerback going to play for the greatest cornerback of all time. And people was mad about
Shout out
Deion
Sanders.
He's paying people
Forever
off.
Cowboy.
He's giving like these kids millions of dollars, And then Dion was like, I don't even make that kind of money. Like, how am I gonna give other people that kind of money if I don't make that kind of money? Like, it just shows how like how like negative people can be, and how much people don't want people to succeed, even though it doesn't affect them. Like, it
Yeah,
does
bro.
not affect you whether or not this 5-star recruit goes to play for one of arguably the best corners to ever play in the NFL. Like, how does that affect you as a person?
It doesn't affect you. People just want to talk shit. People was like he made the dumb decision. He chose Jackson State over Florida State, and Florida State and they're not a powerhouse program right now. They ain't been doing nothing, and people still find a way to be mad over him for at him for doing that. I don't understand, but just like the whole thing of black athletes going to HBCUs would just change the educational landscape. It would just bring so much more hype, buzz, like more money. And then our schools are really gonna be them top tier schools, bro. A lot of them schools like UCLA, Duke, them schools is good at education wise because of their athletic programs, or not just their athletics, but their athletics sure helps them. Those millions that they get from sports, like bro, college sports is a money making machine, bro.
And right
It's a
now, the
money
only
making
the only
machine.
people making money are the people who are profiting off these black athletes, and
Exactly.
the schools that are profiting off. Like, you don't see Hampton and Howard making tons of money off our basketball and football team.
They don't. They don't even care. Those, bruh, I hate that Howard charges to go into football games.
They
And the
charge
thing
you.
is, yeah, they charge us. It's bullshit. But yes,
I
bro,
know.
they
I
charge.
had to spend. How much was it? I think 35.
I don't know, but I remember me and the kid like ran into the game during halftime. We ran in with the opposing football team. we ran in with them, but like those a school like Alabama, they can afford they don't have to charge their students to pay to go in the game. Like they don't need that money. They don't need that. Howard might need our money a little more because our team isn't as good. Michael, you're stupid as hell. But like, bruh, it's definitely interesting conversation. I really think we could flip the community around overnight if we started going back to our schools, because we used to be like that. Like I said earlier, prior to integration. So it would be crazy, bro. I don't know. I think about that stuff a lot. I'm not gonna lie. But it takes a group of pioneers, bro. It takes Travis Hunter's a pioneer, bro. He's a pioneer. It takes people like McCurr Maker. That's a pioneer right there. He 5-star athlete going to Howard.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't didn't man, what's his name? It's your boy Joey. I can't.
Jerry Rice.
No.
Well, he went to
Shannon
HBCUs.
Sharp. Didn't Shannon Sharp go to HBCU?
Yeah.
He went to
Savannah State.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, bro, it's a whole lot.
Were there
of
like a
NFL
lot of
once
them
you
who
went to
did that back
HBCUs.
then?
Huh?
Were there a lot of them who did that back then?
Yeah, bro. The HBCUs like Tennessee State, or I think it's Tennessee State or Tennessee Valley State. I can't.
I think it's Tennessee State.
Tennessee State, TSU.
Yeah.
Shout out to my cousins out there.
Yeah. Tennessee State. They had a powerhouse football program back in the 70s. They had hella NFL players coming out of there.
Wonder what happened.
You said what happened?
I said I wonder what happened.
I mean, we see what happened.
Everyone just started going to other schools. They stopped going to HBCUs.
They stopped going.
The Black Lotus wants every commit to HBCU. Do it right now.
I mean, the thing is, I don't want to make it seem like we like forcing dudes
No,
to
of
go.
course.
'Cause at the end of the day, it's your choice, bro. You can do what you want. But if you're thinking about it from a community wise standpoint, it would change a lot of things if those athletes went to HBCUs. And what Deion Sanders doing right now is revolutionary, bro. It's revolutionary. Now I wish some hella good coach came to Howard so I could see a good football team before I graduate. Cause it would be so fun. It would be so fun if Howard had like a football culture like Alabama, bro. So something like that. That would be so fun.
Or at least like Hampton.
Like it's not like that.
At least beat us, honestly.
Man, because bro, for real, because we don't be. Bro, I'm not trying to shit on our team.
Because y'all be bullshitting.
Oh, they be bullshitting, man. They be bullshitting. Hey, it's about to be a new season though. I think we'll be good. I think we're gonna be good. Well,
Joey, if you wanted them to be good, why didn't you play, bro?
Bro, I'll be thinking about it. I'm in shape now. I'll be running through my job and trying to turn that alarm off. I'll be racing through. As soon as I hear that beep, I tell my manager to give me the key. I'll go turn it off. I'll be sprinting over there, and every customer will be like, "Damn, you're really fast." And I'll be like, "Bruh, if you knew me in high school, bruh, like I didn't have these wheels, bro. I didn't have these, but I got them now. But if I play in college, bro, I would have to be a whole new position that I would not be used to playing.
Yeah, there'd be like I'm not even gonna lie. You'd probably have to be like a DN type shit.
No, bro. I would not be no DN. I'm way too small for that shit, bro. You're tripping. In high school, I was a lineman. I think right now I would probably be like a safety.
Safety? You think you got wheels like that?
Hell yeah.
I mean, I think maybe fullback, maybe running back.
I could be. I think I would be like a running back because I got big legs. I think I could be a running back. I think I could be a strong safety because strong safeties are it'd be kind of like maybe they're bigger than free safety. I don't know, bro. It's all speculation. I never played those positions in my life because I was too much of a fat ass in high school to play those positions. But yeah, bro, it's definitely interesting conversation, bro. We need more black students going to HBCUs. I think it will really reverse a lot of the things that we see today. You know, just encouraging more kids to go to college, man. Just in general. You know.
But hey, man, I think this is a good spot.
Yeah.
What y'all think? We going on 2 nights.
I'm glad we got that. I'm glad we got that conversation in about the HBCUs, bro.
Yeah, man. Bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Like this might be one of the most progressive podcasts we've done. I'm not gonna lie, bro. We've talked about so much, like in this last 2 hours. Like we've talked about religion in the church. We talked about black marriage and black couples. We talked about black education. This damn near might be a black anthropology episode.
I'm not gonna lie, this episode really like encapsulates our views. I've been dying to have an episode where we actually like talk about our views like more, because I feel like we haven't done it like our more like political and like views on Black America. I feel like we haven't done
call
that
this
as much.
the Black Society Synopsis.
Cause like that's, bro. For those who don't know, that's what me and Michael really care about when it comes to this shit, bro. That's what we care about, and we be wanting to talk about that stuff more. So I'm glad we got to do that in this episode.
But hey, y'all, I just want y'all to thank Claude for coming on, man. Claude, thank you for coming on, showing us love, bro.
This is the man behind the magic, bro. This is the man behind the scenes, bro. This the man right here. You be making this shit happen for us.
Appreciate you.
You are much appreciated, Claude, for real, bro.
Much appreciated. And we finna send you a little reward, bro. We got you. Or not a reward, but
I was like, what?
A token of our appreciation. But,
I was thinking what too. I'm like, what's this? What's the reward? I was like, what?
But nah, for real. Yeah, thank y'all for listening. And as we always say,
as long as y'all show love,
stay consistent.
Yes, sir.
Peace, y'all. One love.